I also have to put on an old hat I wore for several years as a conference executive and speak on behalf of the bishop and the district superintendent to thank you for your faithfulness to the United Methodist Church. And that has not been easy, because he's a UCC. And John, over the period of my ministry in this conference, John is one of the few, in quotes, federated pastor types who has been faithful to the United Methodist Church and has guided you and kept you within the confines of the United Methodist Church. And on behalf of the conference, I thank you both for that. That has been a tremendous gift to the United Methodist Church, and we cherish that. And I know I speak for Bishop Davidar.
He's new.
He's new. And he's got an Indian name that I wrestle with. I haven't even tried his first name yet. And I know I speak for Dave Abbott on behalf of him. So thank you so much. And blessings on you as you go your new way. The retirement's not bad. Really it isn't. It really isn't. And I have to say a couple of things to you as I take this yoke, and I take it with joy and I take it with excitement. But if you had asked me 6 months ago if I would consider taking a local church again, the answer would have been a very quick no. I retired 10.5 years ago, and at that point I said, I'm not going back into the local church. Many of the retired pastors I know, they take a small church. They just can't seem to give up the pulpit. I had other things I wanted to do. And for the last 10 years, I have been very active, as some of you know, in the ministry of Wanakee United Methodist Center, which is very close to my heart, and in many ways will continue. But this summer I realized I needed to give up a lot of the stuff I was doing, because if I didn't give it up, I'm getting to the age where I'm not going to be able to do it, and somebody's got to learn to it. So I was stepping back from that. I also have been very much involved in the congregation that Rita and I attended in Guilford, in the media ministry there. And you'll probably see a little bit of that creeping into this church, because I tend to be a media person. But it was time for me to pass some of that on too. And Dave Abbott, who I've known for many, many years, called me up and said, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Well, even though I'm retired, I still have some respect for district superintendents when they say, I want to have a conversation with you. And we met at the 106 Diner, and David outlined a little bit about this church in Alexandria. I kind of put it in my mind, I knew which church he was going to talk about. I could put 2 and 2 together. And he started to outline what you folks are about. And I went home and I spoke to Rita, and my wife Rita is back in the back corner where she likes to sit. But she's very much the person who's behind me and keeps me going and motivated and keeps me in line and makes sure I'm humble. We talked about it. And the more we talked about it, we realized that this was God's call upon us to venture into a new time of ministry, to lead you folks in a way of transition. And it's going to be a period of transition, because you've been yoked to Hebron and other churches for as long as you can remember, I would imagine. You've been here probably the longest, I think.
Pretty close to it.
Pretty close to it.
You remember David Brown.
I'm not going there.
Well, I just wanted John to talk about heat. I can have on the 2 stoves I heated this whole place.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wood stove.
2 wood stoves.
Put it back there.
Yeah.
Crank that.
One over there.
Yeah.
Lots of fine memories. But, David started to outline what you folks want to do. But you want to come from, you know, being yoked to another church to being able to stand on your own, have your own pastor there. And you built this marvelous office down there. I'm waiting to go down there and see what it's like. Is it finished? It's not quite finished yet.
You're gonna be disappointed.
You disappoint me because I know, I've been through building programs. I know what that takes. And what
There's
it's,
been a stall.
huh? What did you say?
There's been a stall.
Well, I can live with stalls. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and the steeple took 4 years, so I hope it's not going to take 4 years. But, you know, your excitement that you have, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm really thrilled to be here, to be your pastor. We live in Meredith. We're only 13 miles away. It's easy to come. We even made it over the hill and down, thanks to Gary's plowing and seeing that the road is sanded. But we're here to serve you for the next 18 months. And we think in 18 months that you'll be ready to welcome who knows what. Somebody will be here because the United Methodist Church promises to provide you with a pastor. That is a guarantee of the United Methodist Church. You will have a pastor the Sunday after I leave. That's a guarantee. Just like you have me coming in. There's no gap. So that's one of the advantages of Methodist Church. I'm looking forward to learning a lot more. I didn't realize I was going to have a meeting at first day I'm on the job at 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I'm going to have to get up. I mean, seriously, no. I'm looking forward to that in so many ways. And so I'm delighted to be here. I invite you to meet Rita at the back. She doesn't like to come forward and be in front of everybody, so I'll just embarrass her back there. We will be here. We're going to be hitting the ground running on Wednesday. Charity, I'll be there. Thursday, I plan to be here in the office a good deal, or here in the church building a good part of the day, just getting acquainted with things and then what's going on. And we'll be here Saturday night for your supper, and then Sunday morning I'll be here. You will notice probably some changes in the bulletin. I'm not John Fisher. I'm not even going to try to pretend to be John Fisher. I'm Phil Baltimus, and that transition, you'll see some of it in the nature of the way I preach and the nature of the way I create worship. So there will be some changes. So, and if you don't like them, let me know, because I'm flexible. Trish, you want to say anything?
I just want to take a minute to obviously thank John for that.
Why don't you come up forward? You know, gee whiz, don't sit back there by yourself.
I like to be in the back with Rita. On behalf of our church, I want to thank John and Linda personally for all that you've given over the years, for the compassion, the humor, the dedication. And I also want to thank Phil for coming in and answering God's call. I'm excited to move forward in whatever path God has for this church. And I know that you're all part of it. So, thank you all for being here on Sundays. And during the week, as we have someone filling in the position that John's been unable to do over the past 40 years, we now are making a spot to have someone personally for this church and for this congregation within the community. So, I welcome you, and we wish you both the best in whatever endeavor.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Linda, did you want to say anything?